Yes, welcome back to another episode of the Straub Bros Sports Show. Big bro Ken Straub, little bro Andrew Straub, and we bring you a very, very, very special episode today. That is because we are going to do our first interview as a show. So we will be bringing on our first guest that is not already a member of the 216 Sports Network. Speaking of which, the 216 Sports Network, if I can get my graphics to work, because I'm apparently running slow today, bro. But that's okay.
Love that.
You right? Off to a hot start. The 216 Sports Network, that's where you can find all of us on Facebook and YouTube. 4th and 15 with Mel and Smooth, The Jay Rich Show, The Brewers Minute with Rico McGee, Outside Interference, and the one you're tuned into right now, The Straub Bros Sports Show. So you can not just find all of us, but you can find me and this guy right here on TikTok at SBSS, Straub Bros Sports Show, on TikTok, or I'm sorry, that's what I just said, on Twitter at Straub Bros Sports, and on Spotify. You can catch up. You can follow everything that we have rocked with since the beginning. A fun thing, if you were with us last night, and a lot of us were, I had like 500 to 1,000 views on some of those tweets. All throughout the night. Yes. All throughout the night. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Inner battle fighting. I love it already. It's spewing onto the pod. I was on Twitter. I was watching the Cleveland State girls, and I was watching Messi. Yes, I did it. I got the package. I bought the Apple package. So every Friday, I'm going to try to do some Saturdays, but that's my off day. That's my cook day. That's my family day. I will try to actually be live tweeting throughout some of these bigger events. Rock with us on Twitter, like I just said, at Straub Bros Sports. And Little Bro has a new TikTok he's cooking up, so that'll be dropping here soon. And like I said, TikTok at the SBSS. So without further ado, it's time to get into it, my guy. It's time to put the glasses back on.
You can just put one on. I gotta take them off and put other ones back on. The whole thing.
And I can see him doing it too. So it'll be a fun one there. Without further ado, I'm gonna put him in, and then I'll give my spiel, and then Mama, what's up, Mama? We're here. So this is a big one, and I'm gonna throw him in. Glasses in, ready to go. You see the name on the screen. I have to take these off to read though. Today is another full circle moment, amazing moment for the show. I told everybody when I started this is a family thing. I wanted everyone involved to be family. If you see anyone that I talk about or sponsor or do anything with on the show, they are family. It is a show by me with my little brother. My girl helped me come up with the name. Our cousin designed the logo. And today our first guest, somebody we know kind of well, our family has a very strong bond. And so we don't consider him just a cousin. We consider him a brother. And that is former University of Tiffin football player, current member of the coaching staff, former Buckeye Buck, former Medina Jaguar, our cousin, Keegan Varney. We welcome you to the show. Keegan, thank you so much for being on, my guy.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on. I was looking forward to this all week. It was great. This is awesome.
And I like to let everybody know we've had this in the works for a while. Yeah, you guys can both switch your glasses back. I apologize. That's right. You had to do it too. We have talked about this from the get-go. When I put this thing together, I had joked with both of these guys that I was like, well, we got to get Keegan in. Absolutely. So, but, a little background because, everybody joining us today might not be a member of the family, although, and, obviously, when you're on the Straub Bros Sports Show, we don't just welcome you. Mom welcomes you. So mom is welcoming you in as well. Our family bonds through two major things, and that's love and sports. We all love each other very much, and we all love some sports. Our grandfather that we all have in common was an amazing athlete growing up. Your grandfather on your side, Keegan, was an athlete. All of our aunts and uncles have played baseball, softball, my dad included. Our cousins have all played softball. Our cousin Cooper played high school football. Drew over here played soccer his entire life and baseball. I got to play soccer, not just in high school at Notre Dame College. Our cousin Josh, your big brother. Played football his whole life, in from high school into college at West Liberty. And then we have the man here who in my own family rankings, yes, like Deion Sanders, I'm ranking family members, I have is the most successful of all of us in terms of sports academic achievements. Our cousin, D2 conference championship player, and now member of the coaching staff, as I told you, Keegan Varney.
Yes, it's an honor to be
intro.
Here. Yes, thank you. That was amazing.
All right. So right. So let's hop right into this. Like I said, thank you. You're currently on the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the people kind of what you do on a day-to-day basis once the season gets rolling.
Once the season gets rolling, it's pretty fun. I'm there early for practice, I pretty much kind of know what coaches want throughout the week. Pads wise, like I want, 3 of the yellow ones, or, I want 2 of the donut ones that they tackle. I need 2 of the pop-ups over here. I need 10 shields. A lot O-line, D-line use the med balls a lot. Everyone uses like the bands. So it's kind of just like setting that up. And then once practice gets going, there's actually a drone that Tiffin uses for practices every day, and I fly that. I get all the aerial drone shots for offense, defense, special teams, anything. I get it all, and it's a blast to do. It's so much fun. I hook the thing up to my phone, and then I hook it up to Bluetooth, and it pretty much flies on its own. I just control it to go up and down, like turn it. Get the angle and whatever. But other than that, it's pretty easy. It's fun. Unless there's wind, it's a nice time.
That's awesome. So that's what you're doing now. But
yeah,
that's not the beginning of our football journey here. So
yeah,
we're gonna do something that me and bro have done plenty of times, and we're gonna go on a little ride. We're gonna take a little ride, and I'm gonna drive. We have to start, and I mentioned it in the intro.
Yeah.
The little Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
That is where you got your start. All right, so we're gonna walk through a couple of those games. No, but seriously, that young, because I'm obviously I'm 12 years older than you. You and little bro. Yes, you and little bro of the Straub Bros Sports Show are the same age.
Yes.
So are around the same age. So I obviously I watched you two grow up. I remember you. Like I said, I remember at the same time that I was kind of coaching him, honestly, on the field. I remember you being there. Obviously, your big brother, Josh.
Yes.
Your grandfather, Papa Varney, and your dad, our Uncle Cletus, your dad, who are no longer with us. Rest in peace. The flamingos are for you, Uncle Cletus. Me and Straub are rocking those today for you. Those three kind of, and your mom included, kind of put this introduce you to this love of football at an early age. Talk to us about that. Where that love of football came from.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just growing up, my brother played it, and that was a huge part, going to his practices, the games on Fridays, and even like at school, Buckeye is such a huge, even from like a little elementary school, like it's such a football oriented like place. Like everyone goes in the town to go see the Buckeyes play on Friday night, like in the Buckadome. Like it's a great time. And like, the little kids, like the Jacks and the Jets, that was the other team. We always like grew up, like wanting to be like a big buck, and stuff. And I think that helped a lot too. Just like my friends, that I still have to this day. I still talk to a lot of them. But I think that helped too. And then my dad played. We'd always just watch football on Sundays, the pro, college on Saturdays, keep up with it, talk about it, there was always a football around in the house to throw around and play. Right. I think my mom would tell a story about me, how I was tiny at a football practice, but, it was kind of just stuff like that, little stuff like that.
Absolutely. And I'm going to throw it to Drew here in a second. I do want to point out for everybody who's rocking along with us. Keegan is a Florida Gator fan.
Yes.
His father was an Alabama fan. Roll Tide all the way. So there was a lot of SEC battles in that house. And then I think it's funny to point out, because you mentioned it, Jags and Jets. Your brother was a Jet.
Yes.
You grew up on the Jags, so that was funny because I remember your brother. I love my cousin. We are the biggest Notre Dame fans of all time, but that's how he grabbed the Jets. He played with the Jets.
He played with the Jets, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely. So, Drew, I know you got a couple things to throw in here about childhood as well.
Yeah, so growing up in a football family such as ours, there's I say a baseline knowledge of like sports and also just about being like successful because a lot of those things are very intertwined. That you get just by being in the room with our family. What were some things that like even back then that you kind of still hold on to, whether it's in sports or even just as being like a good person?
Yeah, I mean, I guess with that, just like the little conversations I would have with my dad or with, Uncle Kurt about anything. Just like the little thing that would pop up on ESPN, right? And we would go on for an hour about it. The littlest things, or like if there was something that they wanted to show us, right? It would be like, and then that would be an hour spiel about, whatever that topic was for the day, right? But it was always fun, and I'll always cherish those memories and keep instilled those values and priorities to this day for sure. There's a lot of them. I mean, it's pretty much who I am today. I'd say is a lot of those.
That's
If
awesome.
if I'm being honest, yeah,
A
it's
100%. Listen, do you remember the lectures we got when there would be a play like a Deshaun Jackson play where a guy would drop the ball before
oh my
and the head roll out of both of you tells you everything. It tells everybody what they need to know because that would turn and rest in peace when our grandfather was alive as well on top of that.
boy,
Whoo,
that was
We'd hear about it the
those were
next
some long-
week.
Listen, if you've ever seen those TikTok, ladies and gentlemen, those people who were like, we said goodbye at 4 o'clock, and then we said goodbye at 5 o'clock, and then we said goodbye at 8 o'clock. Hello, and welcome to the Straub Bros Sports Show, along with the Varney and the Teeters and everyone and everyone else involved. So you talked about it, so I want to get into it because you're absolutely right. You grew up in an area that isn't just football in the youth level. Those youth teams travel because in the high school level, it is a big thing. You are a former Buckeye Buck.
yes,
And not only did you go to the same high school as your big brother,
I did,
who made a name for himself and went on to play in college like we talked about, you played the exact same position.
Pretty much, yeah.
Did you ever feel that kind of pressure? Did it play on your mind? Like, I'm not just kind of doing what Big Bro taught me. This is the exact same kind of pathway.
Yes and no, but I'm gonna give you both reasons, but I'm gonna go with no more than yes. And that's because of our age gap. The entire coaching staff was new. No one he knew was there. There was 2 or 3 teachers at Buckeye that knew of him, of the Varney name, right? And it was maybe more people of my dad because he worked for Buckeye as well for a long time, and so he just kind of interacted with people and did that. But there was only a few teachers that really knew my brother and knew what he did. So I would say no. It was kind of more of my journey, of Keegan Varney's journey, right? I mean, I talked about them and they knew that they had obviously had helped me, but it was more of my journey, my experiences, things that I have done, because it was all different. I mean, we might have gone to the same workout place of Express down in Valley City, but it was different, right? I mean,
Yeah. No, I understand. I'm actually, and I love this part because I get to tell a great story. Two real quick. One that Josh, who your brother is watching, so he'll enjoy this one. Obviously, you both are 12 years difference between me and Josh. Me and Josh are about a year apart. So we always would laugh because you two, me and Josh were the full jocks. Run into the wall and bust our heads up and think we were going to be in the league and do all of this stuff. Now, obviously, your brother is successful outside of football, but we always joke that you two were kind of on your own path. And it's not a surprise that you are now working for the team, getting ready to graduate and do your own thing. Big bro or little bro is getting ready to graduate with his degree. So this is not a surprise that you answered kind of no, that you kind of forged your own path and kind of did your own thing there. Bro, go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick, Keegan, I completely understand being in the being in your own way and being so far apart. However, there were some times when I went to the same elementary and middle school as my brother and would get some teachers going, Straub, you're Ken's brother. And the
You're
look of just straight, oh, please don't be the same as your brother
Fair.
kind of thing would always come up. And I'm like, listen,
oh,
I'm 100 pounds. I'm a straight A student. I am nothing like my brother.
Just
Don't worry about it.
complete opposite. Knowledge of sports, looks, just everything, just the complete opposite. Yeah, I'm taking digs. I'm taking shots. Yes, the
but
funniest part about that story is when the teacher said, "I still have your mother's phone on my speed dial."
Mhm.
Yeah, congratulations. Welcome to the highlights of the Straub Bros Sports Show. Get back to asking Keegan questions.
Yes, I do have a question. So honestly, throughout we've known you, you've just been humble in just your process and your ability on the football field. However, we know your journey, we know how far you've gotten. So when was, I guess, a moment or moments in high school that you remember thinking, I have the ability to go to the next level as long as I can keep this path? Like when was that time frame?
um, it was honestly pretty early. It was my sophomore year. I remember my coach bringing me over to the side one practice, and he was like, "Listen, like this kid's a senior. Like he's bigger. Like he might be a little bit stronger than you, but like you're better than him. Like you know the plays. Like I'll give you a couple more weeks in the weight room, and you'll be just as strong as him. Like it's no big deal. Like yeah, he might be 6 whatever, but like I would trust you over him. And then I hurt my knee, whatever. But like I kind of realized then I'm like, all right, like I could definitely do something. Like I could definitely maybe not play at like a Division 1 Ohio State, Alabama, but I could play, at a Mount Union, at a, wherever Tiffin, right? Like it just shows that you can do more than you think. And there's
That's
more
awesome.
options than just to like, an Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
There's so many other, especially in Ohio, D2 colleges. In Michigan, there's so many D2 colleges that you can make a name and you can have a fun time and get a great education and have all the same experiences just from that little thing. It's
That's
awesome.
And
that's really cool.
honestly, Mr. Over there is at University of Cincinnati, but I went to Notre Dame
Yes.
College. I went to a smaller school. I remember having those conversations with you, Keegan, when you were making a decision on playing. I remember that. I remember being like, I remember telling you, go do it. I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was the best time of my life.
Hmm.
I also remember telling you though, don't blow your body up just for a couple extra snaps. So, but we're gonna get into more of that Tiffin and that college stuff. But you had mentioned something about high school, and I want to come back to it because I have a question for you. You
Hmm.
talked about it, guys that you're still friends with to this day. The love. I remember going to Buckeye games, like I said, when your brother played. I remember going when you played. It is not a normal high school atmosphere. It
No.
is a big deal. Talk to me about that. What was that team? What was that locker room like? And give me a best memory from that kind of that high school, that varsity level.
Um, there's a lot of good stories. I mean, because we always like we grew up together. I mean, we kind of started playing. No one really else joined the team, and no one really else left the team in like seventh, eighth grade, and that's kind of when we got like our groove and playing and kind of learning and like building that charisma. And then pretty much like freshman, sophomore year again of high school, maybe even like a little bit of junior year, but like it was fun. I mean, you really spend every hour of the day, in high school class, you'll have a class with a few of your teammates, lunch, whatever, pick up a ride because everyone lives 5 minutes away from each other. So, you might need a ride every once in a while, right? And hanging out on the weekends, there's really nothing else to do but hang out with your friends. I mean, let's be honest, it's a little hick town, so you just get close in that way. You find stupid stuff to get into, and it just makes the bond closer and stronger on and off the field. The greatest locker room memory I have though is probably there was this one practice or not practice, but it was like a spring thing. And we played like some football like conditioning thing, and we were just covered in mud, like head to toe. We found like this little mud pad, and we were like, let's just play in the mud, like let's just do it. And so then we all got showers in the we all got a shower, and then I'm not gonna finish the story, but it was like the best time in my entire life. It was so much fun. Everyone in that room I still talk to them. It was so much fun. And
Yeah.
there's countless more memories like that that I probably can't remember, but
Mhm.
there's times it's great.
And I do, and I'm gonna give you credit because you had mentioned it, seventh, eighth grade, that core coming together, all of those kids from in that Medina area,
Mhm.
who have played together. I remember your father telling me and your brother, because at that time, obviously, he's not in high school. We're all out of that high school range, saying, "Man, we've seen our boys play. They might be able to beat some of the high school, the varsity or the freshman guys like right now." So that class was no joke. A successful team. You guys put
Yeah,
together some great seasons there at Buckeye.
yeah,
You absolutely did. You got to actually walk off the field for your last game at my high school.
I
That
did.
was an awesome thing to be able to kind of greet you there as well. To
Mhm.
kind of bring the family thing full circle. We're all here for each other
It
all
was
the
yeah, it
time.
was fun.
Okay, so obviously, as we've talked about, you're there at the University of Tiffin. So I have a question. When you signed on, what was it about Tiffin that kind of, drew you in, made you fall in love, made you go, I'm going to go here to not just play, but go to school and get an education?
Um, I mean, I kind of figured out. So I guess to preface, I went to a career center in high school, and I was going for sports med, and I kind of just didn't like that anymore. I didn't want to spend the rest of my life doing that. So I kind of went around the other ones, and I figured out that there was a criminal justice one there, and I was really interested in that. And then Tiffin just happened to be one of the top criminal justice schools. So I'm like, all right, well, that's fun. Like that's good. And then I saw that they're like one of the best Division 2 programs, around. And I really like the campus, the coaching staff, especially the O-line coach. Coach Johns is a great guy, a great mentor, just a great person all around. Coach Reiser, he's a great guy, a leader for sure. And just all the coaching staff there. There was a few changes, but the main staff really, really got me there and kept me there. And then dragons, that's sweet, right? I mean, if my mascot can be a dragon, that's pretty cool. And then I like the colors too. I'm not gonna lie, green and gold. I look really good in green, so
It's a favorite
Exactly.
color, and it's a favorite color of the pod as well. We love that
exactly.
green and gold, and as a
Like,
family.
And Chris with the Packers, she always
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
so it
Yeah, we
was
were talking about the Packers. My bad, not just Notre Dame.
but yeah, and then the university itself, the campus, the buildings, each season they're just gorgeous, and it's small. You can walk anywhere. I mean, I walk to my class every day, so I don't have to worry about parking or anything. Just the people that you meet is mainly athletes here. So that's nice. At least they're not in the same sport, but they can relate to you a little bit.
Yeah.
They're like oh yeah, I understand the lift meeting class shower. Like they all understand that.
When you
And s-
when you're getting ready to come out of class and you see the other athletes coming out of the building at the same time, and you're all like, hey, "Oh yeah, hey, yeah,
oh
hey,
hey, what's up?
yeah,
And
mhm."
that's pretty much like in the cafeteria. That's really when like you make friends, and then you see them out later. But for the most part, that's really like the only time we really have is in class, in the lock, and
Yeah,
kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
No, I completely
absolutely.
agree.
yeah,
I'm gonna I'm
it's
gonna I'm gonna take over, and then I'm gonna throw to Drew since I've been stealing all of the questions. I have a good one. So I
mhm,
had my moment. I've told it on the pod. I had the big Australian goalie come out and almost clean me out because I decided to go up in the air with them, and he flat out told me, "I'll break your legs. You do that to me again." So
yeah,
Keegan, you're a baller in high school. We all are. You know what I mean? If you make it to the
everyone
college
is.
level, you were good in high school. What
Everyone
was
is. Yeah.
your welcome to college? Oh shit, this is a different level moment.
It was my freshman year. It was actually in the spring though. But we were inside, and there was an older fifth year. His name was Charlie Cleveland. He was the biggest, baddest dude on campus on the team, right? He was Charlie Cleveland, and I was having a good practice, right? Like I was blocking everyone up, like I was making the holes, I was making all the right calls I needed to make, and he was calling me out on something, and I'm like, I'll put you in the dirt, like whatever. Like I said something, and I pushed him a couple plays too hard. And he's like, you do that again, I'm gonna sit you in your quarterback's lap. And I was like, whatever. Like, and he picked me up and sat me in my quarterback's lap.
Yep.
Yeah, and it wasn't. It was. I was like, oh. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. Wait a minute. Right.
yeah.
Listen, it's a big. It's the biggest jump you will ever take. It is not from
Oh.
middle school to high school. It is when you go from being the senior in high school. And listen, you were the same. You were a dog. I was a captain. We were. We were them guys. We were him. And then you're a freshman, and you are nobody again. You are okay, and that is the biggest transition of all. Like I say, my goalie was clean me out. And here, just to give him some love, because he's absolutely right. My high school goalie almost cleaned me out there a couple times when he was a senior as well. Thanks for tapping in, Ray. I appreciate you. So go ahead, bro. I know you got plenty of questions about this college level.
And first I want to say I respect that you looked at it as picking a college as other than just, the football program. You loved the campus, you loved everything like that. And of course, coming from our family, make sure you get the degree, make sure you go for the academics. It's not just for the football. It's exactly how it is. I completely understand. Listen, any of us could have gone D1 to Ohio State or Notre Dame, and they'd be like, well, what are you majoring in?
What are you majoring in? Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know about me, but I love this. Keep going.
And so, but I wanted to kind of get in terms of that transition, because obviously you're still with, you're employed by the university, so you can't tell us everything. But in terms of your athletic career and your day-to-day, how did your life and preparation change from high school, going to class in this big block and then kind of going to practice, then to college where you're kind of, you take your classes, but you make sure that everything kind of revolves around your practice schedule, your lift schedule, your game time. How did that change?
Yeah, that was definitely a big change. Definitely, there was no other way to put it. Like, I had to change, right? Like, of course I was there to get an education, but like, I was also there for football. They were paying, I had a scholarship, and so I had to be there, right? And there was no other choice but to figure that out. And I did have good counselors. She dealt with football players mainly, so it was nice she had a little of a background. She was like, all right, you have, what time is your lift? What time is practice? And I'm like, all right, I have it this. And she goes, okay, well, this class will work, or this class. And it was nice to have her, definitely. But for the most part, it was on me to make sure, I had the right class and the right time, and I had enough time to go home and get everything I needed just in case something was wrong, right? That's just who I am. But it was definitely a big change. I enjoyed it. It definitely made me grow and made me, be who I am now. But it's nice for sure.
Yeah, because I know it's a massive change. Even as someone who didn't do sports, going from, you're in school from, 8 a.m. to 3 or 4, and then, obviously I played in high school, so you went to practice and stuff like that. But then going to college where it's like, I have 3 or 4 classes, but they're an hour, and then I have like a 2-hour gap, or other stuff where you kind of have to make sure that you are able to take responsibility in what you're doing in between those times. It's a big shift in responsibility from like the teaching staff, the teachers, to you.
Exactly.
And I love to bring it full circle, because I am the spoke on that wheel that gets skipped, not on a bad thing, because I allowed the soccer to overtake my classes sometimes. So I understand, and trust me, I'm telling you things that I've beat into your two heads a billion times. That's why we're proud to say that you both are about to graduate and have your degrees and moved on from, and obviously you have love of sports. You get to do a sports podcast with me, little bro. You're obviously working for the team, Keegan, so that sports love is there. It still can be a job, it still can be in place, but that education is first, moving those classes around and stuff like that. But I want to get back on the field for a second. So is the ring in hand? Is it close by?
Yeah, so my other one for the most recent one that we just won is on the way.
Okay.
But the other one is right over there. I'll grab it real quick. Hold on.
Okay. That's fine. And what I'm talking about, and here we'll take him down for a second so he can jump off the camera for a second. And that would be his D2 conference championship ring. Yes. One as a player, one as a coach. As you heard, the second one is on its way as he's coming back in, as we get him in here. I wanted the people to be able to see as he's back in. I wanted the people to be able to see this bad thing. I've taken plenty of pictures of it on my Snapchat and showed it off. There it is. That thing is beautiful.
God.
Talk to me about, there it is. And that's an even better view. I love it. Yeah, with the middle finger. Absolutely. Let the people know. Oh, that was accident. But Keegan, do me a favor. What was it like to win that on the field? Oh, and hold on. Muted. There he is.
It was nuts, if I'm being honest. Sorry about that.
No,
but
that's
yeah,
okay.
it was nuts because we were home that year. We were home, and there was obviously a bunch of fans and students, and everyone was there, and it was crazy. I mean, even the town of Tiffin is kind of like Medina and Buckeye, where the people that live there like pay attention and like come and like support us, and it's awesome to see like everyone just get behind us and rally, and then like when we finished it was good to just see and be a part of.
Absolutely. Awesome. Anything else on the field, Drew?
I actually have something about transitioning. So
okay,
if you have something.
So hold on with that for a second. You did transition to a new role, and then I'll let bro get in on his part of that transition. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Me and you have had many of a conversations over a glass of whiskey in the backyard around a fire about this. But tell the people, what was it like hanging up the cleats after all those years and being like, okay, like I'm not gonna play anymore. Like this is it. I can still be around the game. I love the game. It'll be a part of my life forever, but I'm not gonna play anymore. What was that like?
It was hard, but it was worth it. To say the least. It was time. I mean, my body was already letting me know, like, hey, hang them up. But I mean, it was kind of more just myself and like my mental health and just everything. I just needed to hang them up, and being around it for a little while was hard. I'm not gonna lie. There was days in the summer where I'm like, dang, I wish I was there. Like, I wish, like, and then they would start doing up downs. I'm like, okay, never mind. But you know,
I know that feeling.
I don't mean to cut you off, but Drew, what does that sound like? I told everybody I went to the first Cleveland Crunch practice. I saw those guys warming up, and I got the goosebumps, and I got the adrenaline, and I got going. And the first time one of those guys hit each other into the wall, I was like, no,
never mind.
Okay.
No.
Okay, man.
Yeah, the first padded practice when someone got taken off their feet, like it's quick, it's fast, and some guys don't really transition, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember what that's like, and I don't miss that. Like, but other than that, it was hard, you know, not playing with one of my really good buddies, Shane and James. I really missed playing with them and Jordan Speller, and there was just a few of the guys, you know, Andrew Warnke, who was our quarterback and then transitioned to a tight end. I missed playing with him, and even, you know, I did hit them every practice, and I did, you know, maybe want to hit them a little harder, but even the defensive guys, right? Like the linebackers and the D linemen, like it was a special weird bond because, you know, we would go one-on-ones, inside run, you know, you were with them a lot of time throughout practice. You know, you would make jabs at them. You would, you know, joke around with them. You would even like after practice, you would talk with them, you know, even out when you would go out, you would hug them and be like, you know, what's up, man? Like, how's it going? And it was special, but at the same time, they give you a newfound respect because you still show up.
Absolutely.
You still help out the team, and they love the drone shot. And it's a great honor to help the team and to help the boys really improve what they need to improve. You know, even if it's just a little thing, the coach would be like, hey, I need you to do this drill. I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter, because I know at least at the end of the day, one of them is going to get something, I hope, out of it. So it's worth it to do it.
Absolutely. And Drew, go ahead. Please go ahead.
That was pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay.
We're good.
And Drew, I'm going to throw it to you, but I wanted to let Keegan also give a shout out. I saw a bunch of your social media stuff. Your guy Shane recently made
Shane Baumgartner.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes.
Give him the love. Give him the shout out. He recently made a transfer.
Yeah, me and Shane, we were roommates freshman year of college, and then we kept living together sophomore and junior year, and then our senior year we moved. He moved into a different house, and I moved into. They were both off campus, so it was nice. But he just recently transferred to the University of Kansas, and I'm so excited for him. He
Nice.
deserves it. He's worked so hard. He has put in countless hours of film and questions with coach and everything. It was good to see him in the weight room transfer because he wasn't. It was hard to sometimes, for him to get going in the weight room, but it was nice to get him in the weight room and to, me and Warren and Timmy would be in there and get with him, and it was nice to really see him going and lift on his own,
Yeah.
and get a nice pump in, get a nice lift in,
Yeah.
and he deserves it. Honestly, it was no one else deserves it more than him. Shane, he's a great guy, a great individual, and I love him. I love him to death. Yeah.
Absolutely. Big shout out to you, Shane. Shane, this is your invitation. When you get clear it with your media relations person, if you can, we'll get you on. We'll bring Keegan in. We'll go 4-box. We'll put it together. So that would be awesome. I'm gonna put that on you, Keegan. But
I'll
no,
try. We'll see.
absolutely. But no, either way, big shout out to him. So, Drew, I apologize. You wanted to get into the transition from playing
All
into
good.
coaching, but Big Bro talks too much. You know that.
Yeah, listen, I let you roll. I let you roll. But yeah, as a coach now, do you, I guess, see the players in a different light? And I guess what I mean by that is, do you expect different things or maybe even more things from them now? Or did you expect those things as a player and already kind of had that coaching hat on while playing?
I definitely expect the same standard. I would, if I was playing with someone and they messed up, I would rip them. It didn't matter. If you were a freshman or not, I would rip you. It was kind of just who I was with my dad and my brother. I think kind of instilled that into me to just of that perfection. And then a coach always likes that, right? But it's just someone who I am, and I always have kind of just expected that. So it's no the only difference would be is the incoming guys. It's a little bit different because I'm not playing with them. The guys that
Right.
I played with, it was a little different, but the guys that I'm not playing with, well, I mean, yeah, I can see how you play and I can watch you play all day, but um yeah, that was pretty much it. I can't really speak on that because I've never played with them. So,
Okay, that makes complete sense. And
yeah.
so you're going into this coaching season.
Mhm.
I noticed you had 16 guys sign on National Signing Day. You got a big class
Yeah,
coming
big
in, and
class, big class.
I guess what I have to say is now that we're heading into kind of the spring workouts area, kind of the thing. I guess
Mhm.
what are your I don't want to say expectations because it's obviously so early, but what
Yeah.
are your feelings coming into this new season?
And
I mean,
I do
go
want to point out you guys hired a new head coach too. Coach
we
Brett
did.
Ekins is coming this year, so I do want to point that out. But go ahead, go ahead with
Um,
your answer.
I do. I mean, obviously, Coach Ekins has said it himself. He expects a championship, because we just won one. But that's with every coach. Every coach every year expects to win a championship. But I do. I like the guys we have. I like the ethics and the just the morale that they have already, and the dedication, and just like the willingness to do it for the guy next to them and the guy across from them more than anything is what I like. That's the best thing I can say.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm gonna have some fun with this. This is my favorite part of the interview process. I'm gonna throw a couple rapid fire questions at you,
Okay.
and you can give me as long or as short of an answer as you want. Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's do it. Gamed, and these can be I want these to be as a player. I am going to give you a rule. Okay,
Okay.
if
A
you
player.
have a different answer as a coach, you can give it, but give me your player answer first.
Okay.
Game day superstitions or rituals?
Okay. I would always have to get a two white gummy bear reins, and I did that both as a player and as a coach. That never changed. I would always listen to the same playlist. It was always on shuffle, but it was always the same songs. It was a lot of ACDC, Rush, little bit of old rap in there. just some songs that would get me fired up, ready to go. And I would always put a little bit of like calming songs too. You know, when I was out in the field, I would always try and do the same sort of warm up, I guess, personal warm up. Um, Everyone has their own sort of deal. You know, they go get taped first, they go get whatever. But I would always go get taped first and then go and try and loosen it up a little bit and then just do a nice little warm up, you know, just stretch, you know, do little sets, maybe do some sprints. We'll see. We see how they're feeling, but you know,
Yeah.
it was always just simple stuff, you know, just get the legs flowing. You know, it was game day was always weird for me because I always was so excited. You know, I just wanted to go and hit someone else that wasn't my buddy, right? And I wanted to go run up the score, obviously. So that was a thing. But the game day rituals never really changed from player to coach, I guess. I would always, I guess I would always go bottom up when I was getting dressed, like knee braces, you know, girdle, shoulder pads. Contacts were always last. Hated putting contacts in, but I don't have to wear those, thank God. Eye
So that's
blacks,
why I got these. I can't
yeah,
stand them.
yeah. But that kind of changes the coach. I don't have to do that. As a coach, it's kind of more unpredictable. You know, you never know what a guy would need. You know, a guy would need, oh, coach, my cleats messed up. Oh, coach, my helmet's weird. You know, oh, do you have an extra ball? Oh, it's something different every game. You know, you figure out what guys like. You know, hey, do you need this Gatorade? Hey, do you need, you know, this? And they'll always take it no matter what. But you kind of just figure out what they want pregame, what they kind of need pregame, which is nice. But it's kind of different for every guy, every game.
100%. I was a left right just from tape, shin guard, sock, all like left one, right one, left one, right. So back and forth. Not all the way up, but like I would have to do the left foot tape, and
see,
the
in
right
my head,
foot
you're
tape,
doing like the
left
entire
sock,
foot with the
right
cleat, and
sock.
then I was
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was thinking.
No.
That's what I was thinking.
I will say this, and bro, little
he's
bro
got a
know this.
barefoot in one and a cleat in the other. Oh,
And little bro know this because I coached him. Obviously, the funniest transition I ever had from player to coach was, as a player, one of my rituals would be to kind of jog towards the goal, and because I played soccer, and I would kind of jump up on the goalpost, and I would do a pull up, Dwayne Wade style, not gonna lie, and jump off. And then I did it as a coach for the first game, and I remember our father being like, "No, like you can't do that, coach." And I was like,
the
"Yeah, you're
goal's
probably
this
right.
high.
You're probably right. I probably
Yeah.
should be a little bit more professional as a
I
coach."
should probably not do that.
Yeah, not at all. You took my pregame song or songs list. You said the playlist was the same. It isn't always Lil Wayne, Let It All Work Out. That's just the one we share on the end. Favorite pregame meal?
Ooh, it was back in Buckeye when we would have spaghetti with chocolate milk and kind of whatever like little sweet
What a
they'd give us.
combo.
But it always hit. It was always good. I mean, now we get it done through the Pioneer Mill. It's a local restaurant in town, and they give us a couple pieces of chicken, Alfredo and red sauce, a salad. It's normally not sweet potato soup, but like potato soup with like carrots and stuff in it, and that's always good. But yeah, I'll never forget those Buckeye pregame meals. Those are always nice.
Listen, we are a family that not only, like, I should have said the two things we bond over as a family are food and sports. Because as much as we love our sports, if you ever see, there's a game on every TV, but there's also a meal on every possible. There's something there's something on the grill. There's something in the oven. There's something on the oven. There's something in the smoker. There's something in the fryer.
And there's already a table full of food already there.
Exactly.
100%. Welcome to the family.
The outside fridge. We're trying to get stuff in the outside fridge.
Yeah.
This is and now I'm hungry. Absolutely. Okay. Least favorite place to play.
Ooh. In high school or college?
Either one. Or both.
Keystone in high school. I hated Keystone.
I actually played against Keystone, and that was just I know exactly what you mean.
Keystone. I don't know why, but it's just something about Keystone.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
playing against Ashland or at Findlay away are both equally terrible because Findlay is our rival, but Ashland is also a newer school that is very good at football. They are not they're not going to hide it.
Yeah.
And they're good. They're good.
Shout out Jamie Meter, former Parma and Cleveland Brown. So
yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, both of those places equally suck. Ashland, they have no seating, and then it's really loud on their side, and it's like an echo. It's really weird, and it's so much more louder than you would expect. Oh my god, it was infuriating. And then Findlay is just loud in general because it's Tiffin Findlay, so it's gonna suck. But those games are always fun. You know, you look forward to them, but you dread them at the same time.
Absolutely. So then this leads to my next one.
Mm-hmm.
More enjoyable to win on the road or at home?
Oh, win on the road. 100%.
Like, that was a quick and easy one. All right, so here I got a good one for you.
Okay.
Friday night under the lights.
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon.
Ooh, give me. Hold on. I need a reason for that because that was not what I expected.
Me either. That's an underdog. That was a upset.
Like, yeah, high school was fun and all, but like, there's just something about college going out and strapping up with the green or mainly white, I guess. But there's just something different about it. There's a different atmosphere, a different vibe. Just everything about it is just different that I like. I'll never forget the Friday night, and I enjoyed it and loved it. But I the Saturday is just I crave it.
And now high school soccer is a little different because we would play on like Wednesdays and Thursdays.
And yeah, it's weird.
But I remember my first game in college was a road game. I remember putting my headphones on to walk off that bus and realizing I was the most locked in I had ever been in my life. And I was still not the most locked in person getting off the bus. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is different. It's
different.
Yeah, so I'm with you. Those Saturdays and those weekends and those weekdays in college do get a little bit different. Give me and this is a two-parter. So give me your favorite sports memory as a kid that is yours, and then give me your favorite sports memory as a fan as a kid.
Okay. Probably when I was a Jag, I won the Golden Jag Award, and I remember I had worked like extremely hard that season. Like I was struggling with like my weight and stuff and like eating, and it was a really weird and like hard time, and I won that award, and I remember being like, all right, it was worth it. Like, okay. And then as a fan, probably when I saw Tom Brady and like the Patriots play in the Browns for the first time. In person was fun. You know, Vince was there, Gronk was there, you know, Edelman, Danny Amendola, like all the old squad, you know, Dante Hightower, who's the coach now, Gerard Mayo, you know, everyone. It was just fun. You know, the Browns are obviously the hometown squad, but you know, it was more Vince than anybody, if I'm being honest. How could you not love Vince Wilfork?
That's a good guy.
And listen, even better to have you on the pod because you align more like me. The only teams we kind of root for in Cleveland are the Guardians and the Cavaliers. So all of our other colleges and pro legions kind of veer
a little weird.
Get out of here.
So that's okay. I'm with you, guy. I was hoping you were going to say Florida's national championship over Ohio State. I'm not going to lie, but you were too young. That's the problem. Like,
I was. Yeah, that was a little young.
And we won't talk too much about your Gators right now. It's okay, buddy. It's all right.
I'm not doing too good either. Don't worry about it.
Notre Dame's not too well either.
Hey. Listen, first of all, 5 + 7, that you just gave us an in. We're in, okay? We're in this year.
Hey, they made the Alamo Texas A&M barbecue bowl.
First of all,
yeah, they had to change the entire football college schedule to let you guys in.
Hey, listen, that's because we are Notre Dame. We are the brand. Listen, I got the Tony the Tiger Bowl shirt right here. Don't make me get it, okay? So get my bowl game right, okay? I love it. Best football advice Big Bro or Pops has ever given you?
Don't think. Just go.
Yep.
Just go and just do it.
I've heard that so many times.
Whenever I would think, I would always mess it up. And
Yeah.
whenever I would just not think, I would always be right. So
Yeah, I agree.
Many of Fridays, I stood at the very top of, or a couple of Fridays, not every Friday, because I was coaching and playing too. Being in that very, very top of the stands with your dad and your brother, and that's what. Don't think, Keegan. Don't think, Keegan. Just
don't
play.
think, Keegan,
Just play.
yeah.
And look at him now. He's just playing his way and just coaching his way. Best life advice Big Bro's ever given you?
Yeah, that's
Might be the
tough.
same.
Yeah, it's honestly either that or don't be me. Like, don't do what I do.
Yeah.
I've gotten that before. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that is wonderful advice. I don't know where he got that from, and I don't know who he shared that with. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I may have told that to him that one a couple times as well. That's
But it was, I mean, or don't think, just go. I mean, that one's a
Yeah.
really good life one too.
Yeah.
absolutely all encompassing. Little bro, any more questions for Cuz?
Yeah, I got one, and it's not a rapid fire. It's kind of just a open-ended one. So you kind of came into Tiffin at the very start of NIL, transfer portal, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
How have you seen that kind of change and evolve as you've gone through your years up until now?
I really didn't like it at first. I thought it was going to be a terrible, awful thing, and now they're kind of getting a little bit better with it, especially with the NIL. The NIL is really nice. I just saw a thing with Shannon Sharp and Johnny Manziel about that, and
Yes.
when Johnny said that I was in the same bookstore as them, and I saw all those number 2 jerseys flying off the shelves, where was my cut? It wasn't the same sort of thing, but I was like, I felt that.
Yeah.
Like, I know what he's talking about. Like, I get
Yeah.
it. I understand it. And
Yeah.
it's nice to see where it is now, and I'm excited to see where it's gonna go. Honestly, I'm just NIL's weird. It can be good, it can be bad, kind of depending how you look at it. I feel like it's good. They should have been paid a long time ago, but that's just me.
Listen,
Yeah.
we've gone on our NIL rant on this
Yeah.
show. You guys are making money, and I have said this. It wouldn't have been my check would have been for $37, maybe, if that. But that's pushing it, but it still would have helped.
Yeah, it would have been
Any little bit would have helped. Okay, when I was
$37 would have probably filled the gas tank, right?
Listen, you know what? And if not, well, I'm a little older, so
Especially back then.
it would have filled more than I would have put at least 5 or 10 in the gas tank, and then there would have definitely been a Chipotle run, and then we at least had to leave $2 for $2 pitchers at Johnny Malloy's. Okay,
of
that
course,
that is just what it is.
Yes.
So absolutely, but yeah, it is. NIL it's a wave that needs transferred, but at the same time, as much as everybody thought Alabama and Georgia and everybody, all these big schools were there are smaller schools like a Tiffin that now, hey, you might have had an athlete who was a great athlete who thought about Tiffin, but he might need to go somewhere else just because they actually are going to give him something. Now that you have the ability to go, hey, we can offer you something too. Oh, you know what? Then I'm going to stay home, or I'm going to stay local, or I'm going to play here where I can play some more minutes. So it can help the smaller schools too.
It can.
And so like now looking as like players, are their mentalities different? Because before it was kind of like, I've committed to this school, I'm gonna stay here, I'm gonna try. Is there a mentality of like you're always kind of thinking about it, or is that more of like an off-season kind of thing, like kind of retrospecting afterwards?
It's really only the people that like think about transferring during the season are the guys that are really super unhappy from the get-go that just made a bad decision. But the guys that think about it during the off season are more, am I happy here? Am I getting the right amount of minutes? Am I being utilized even, right? Are they being used in practice and then not used in the game? There's a lot of different thinking about it in both different ways. But I don't know.
That's fair.
I'm not 100%.
I have a transfer portal kind of question for you then. Because your freshman year, there was no transfer portal, correct? That didn't exist quite yet, did it?
I don't think it was almost, but it was pretty much around that time, yeah.
can you there's the transfer portal has picked up a very negative kind of aura and vibe. It's basically turned into guys are derailing entire seasons because they're so unhappy and they want to leave. Is that actually, like, what is the truth to that? Like, if you have a guy in the locker room who knows, hey, I am out of here, I'm gonna transfer, is it as big of a deal and as blown up as it's made out to be?
No. I mean, and maybe if it's a guy who has a lot of personality and he's blowing it up, then it's going to be blown up. But a coach is never going to go out of his way to blow that up for the player, because it doesn't look good on him and it doesn't look good on the university. And obviously the transfer portal is a useful tool, so they want to kind of get that away, like that whole stigma away. So they don't want to cause that. So it's pretty much if the player wants to blow it out of proportion.
Absolutely. I agree there. Okay. Drew?
That was great. I love this.
I hate to end it abruptly, but your NIL and transfer portal questions were good on there. I didn't want to forget about those after my rapid fire. Keegan, we appreciate it, man. I love you so much, man, for you sitting down with us. We wish you all of the best of luck this year. First of all, I cannot wait to see the new ring when it comes in. I will be looking for a picture of that on Snapchat. You better be sending that you better be sending that. I look forward to, like we did last year, we're going to get with you throughout the year. We're going to have Tiffin time. Tiffin time will be back this upcoming Straub Bros Sports Show college football season. We'll get some questions in you. We'll maybe see if we can try to do an interview or two with you throughout the season. I know you're busy. I know what that's like. We are not going to
we almost forgot. Finish your spiel. I almost forgot a question, but we're going to get back to it.
That's fine. We'll try to get with you, see if we can get an interview in. That's okay if we can't, but if not, we will get those questions in A's. What I think we might want to do is maybe we can get a small recorded video of Keegan kind of going through some of our questions and answers that we can play for the people, so he can absolutely keep us updated on how Tiffin is going throughout the year. Mom wishes you the best to have a good year as well.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And then before I wrap this thing up, Drew, go ahead.
Yes. So I don't know how we forgot about this, because I've talked about it the whole week. All right, Keegan.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
I need you to give me the backstory on this picture.
On that picture. Yeah. So that was, I think, during Kentucky Wesleyan, it was during Kentucky Wesleyan. We had just scored a running touchdown, and they were like, that was their whole thing, was like they were going to stop the run. Like, they're going to stop the run. Like that, they had allowed like 20 yards per game or whatever. And we had just came in there and stomped them down their throats. And we had just ordered that hat online. And, I was in my era of having earrings. And so we put it on me
at some point.
And
mine only recently came out like 2 years ago. I don't know what you're talking about back in the day. Go ahead.
But yeah, it was just a fun little picture, and it was a good time.
That's
is there
awesome.
Are Run the Damn Ball hats available still?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I might need to grab me one.
we need one officially for the background.
I think Taylor Lewan, do you know who that is? I think he supports that or like promotes that.
I'll have to look that up, because
I love that.
Every school kind of has their own thing, and the stories behind kind of those little moments that pop out, especially with something like that, is awesome, because it's always so just out of organic and out of the blue. I love it.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Absolutely. And since we're talking about schools have this thing and they all have this thing, if you followed this Straub Bros Sports Show, when we've talked about Tiffin time, Tiffin's thing is running the ball and doing it very, very well against every single opponent they have, win or lose. So, that wasn't going to happen. But once again, I want to thank you so much for rocking with us today, Keegan.
Of course.
There was no better way to go on our first voyage as an interview than to have you on. But before we wrap up, I do want to throw out to the people where you can find us, the 216 Sports Network on Facebook and YouTube. That's where you can find 4th and 15 with Mel and Smooth, The Jay Rich Show, The Ruler's Minute with Rico McGee, Outside Interference, and the Straub Bros Sports Show. The Straub Bros Sports Show. You can find us on TikTok at the SBSS. You can follow us on X, Twitter, at Straub Bros Sports. I got to give a shout out to Keegan. Keegan was the first person to follow us on TikTok, and I'm pretty sure he followed us on Twitter before we could get our accounts to follow us on Twitter. And us, and on Spotify, you can find now all 30 episodes of the Straub Bros Sports Show, number 31. This one will be up literally in about an hour. I'll have it up and I'll have it ready to go. So as always, we thank you so much for rocking with us today. This has been the Straub Bros Sports Show. For Big Bro Ken, Little Bro Andrew, and for Keegan, please remember to, as always,
love it. I can't remember what you told me to say.
I think that makes it even better. Little Bro, help him out.
As always, everyone, have a great weekend and love yours.
Love yours. Love it. Love yours. That's right.